Hello, hello, and welcome to A Case of the Jills, where today I'm sitting at my kitchen table because it's rainy and gray for like the 800th day in a row, and you just can't see anything in the rest of my house. Today was a very special day because today was my first mammogram, and all I can say is, ouch. I'm going to ignore the fact that the very kind technician had to switch plates because some of us don't have enough real estate to be viewed with the normal plates. All in all, it was a very interesting experience and not one that I want to repeat anytime soon. The question came up of whether or not there's a difference between disordered eating and eating disorders. My initial instinct was to say, yes, of course there's a difference, but I did a little bit of research to understand exactly what those differences are. When we're talking about eating disorders, I really have to rely on the experts here. And these are the people that normally treat eating disorders by virtue of a diagnosis from like the DSM-5. So right now the DSM-5 recognizes 4 eating disorders. So that would be anorexia, bulimia, binge eating disorder, and EDNOS, which is eating disorder not otherwise specified. So those people are diagnosed by a clinician, and the diagnosis comes from dedicated work to try to understand what is going on with that person under a number of parameters. And I guess we can say that due to the fact that only 1 to 3% of the population is actually diagnosed with an eating disorder, but yet there's a lot of other people suffering from issues, that there are quite a few people and quite a few behaviors and thought processes and patterns that fall outside that typical diagnosis, but yet are still problematic. I personally have never been diagnosed with an eating disorder, and I feel really apprehensive about speaking for that population of people. I have talked about this with someone who does suffer from eating disorder, and she is an athlete, and we talked about the ways in which things are different, and we talked about the ways in which things are the same. So I just wanted to kind of broach the subject because my main issue is this. If you don't think that you have an eating disorder, that's fine, but you kind of have to decide whether or not you're willing to talk about having disordered eating patterns. And it's my hope that just opening this conversation will encourage people to do a little bit of thinking. So let's talk about what disordered eating is in terms of definition. So of course, you know me and my research. According to Psychology Today, disordered eating can include behaviors associated with eating disorders, but can also include issues of self-esteem and how they are connected to body weight and body size. Having a disconnection between your actual body size and how big or small you feel that you are. Excessive or rigid exercise routines. Obsessive calorie or macronutrient counting. Anxiety about certain foods or certain food groups without a medical reason. Having rigid rules around timing of when you eat, restaurants that you go to or do not go to, and whether or not you want to, say, eat at someone's house. So some of these issues come into everyone's life. So how do we make the determination of whether those issues actually are considered disordered eating behaviors, or if it's just, you're just having a rough week? Again, according to the experts, when those things start to impair or impede other aspects of your life is when it's time to do some deeper thinking. For example, do those behaviors or thoughts interfere with your concentration or ability to focus? Can you just not pay attention to what you're doing because you're doing math in your head about how many calories you ate or how many miles you ran? When you find that you can't work and you can't think and you're having conversations with people and you're racking through all these numbers, that could be problematic. Does it interfere with your social life? So do you find yourself not wanting to go out, not wanting to be with people, not wanting to accept dinner dates or invitations to events where food is going to be present? Does that give you a lot of anxiety? Would you rather just opt out of those events because they create too much stress for you? One of the other issues is on coping skills. Do you use your control over food and or exercise as a method of coping with certain aspects of your life? I think a lot of us probably use exercise as, our therapy or a way to kind of cope with stress, but it's not about a healthy relationship with exercise. It's about needing that exercise and needing to pay attention to every little thing that goes in your mouth because that is the only way you can cope with everyday life. And of course, the last parameter that is outlined here is how much discomfort or anxiety do you get when the things that you are trying hard to control, or the things that you've set rules for yourself about, whether it's about food or exercise, are really, what is the extent to which those things are really ruining your life, or really causing a lot of anxiety, or are causing you a lot of discomfort when those things cannot be what you need them to be. I know that you don't want to identify with this. I am very aware of that. I never wanted to identify with the fact that I had issues around the kinds of foods that I ate and the amount of exercise that I did. But when you don't identify with this, when you refuse to identify with it, the behaviors are going to perpetuate. They're going to continue. We don't get anywhere by ignoring or pretending not to see the problems that are right in front of us. When you can identify with the issue, you can accept it and you can do something about it. But you have to be willing to call yourself out, and that's what makes it hard. I can make a video that's probably another hour long about all the different parts of my life and behaviors that I had and thoughts that I had that were very disordered. It's so hard to admit that, and it makes you feel shameful. But I know that shame is useless here. Shame makes people silent. Silence perpetuates a stigma, and that stigma keeps the taboo going. It impedes the conversation instead of opening it up. And that's just unacceptable for me personally. You have to do what's right for you. You are the only person right now who can call yourself out. You are the only one who can really recognize where you could be falling short of healthy behaviors and try to change that. But you're not going to get anywhere if you just look at that concept of disordered eating patterns and say, that's not me. And you know what? Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's not you. I'm not trying to suggest that everyone watching this channel, everyone who has amenorrhea or hypothalamic amenorrhea, or everyone who overexercises has an issue. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that for those of you who are resisting identification with disordered eating patterns, it doesn't say anything bad about you, okay? It doesn't. You're still magnificent. You're still beautiful. You still are an amazing person, okay? You just need to have a conversation with yourself. That's all there is to it. This was a tough conversation to have. This video really made me nervous. I don't want anyone to think I'm an expert on this. I'm not. I'm learning, and I'm just sharing what I'm learning with you. So 2 more things I want to share with you. First of all, again, thank you so much to the ladies who have donated to A Case of the Jills via the acaseofthejills.com website. As I have told you before, the changes in the YouTube advertising scheme has left most of my videos demonetized, which means that I don't make a penny from any of this. I don't make a penny from any of this at all. So I'm doing all this research and taking my time because I feel compelled to do so, and I really enjoy interacting with you and sharing with you. I love being able to be there for you in that way, and I don't want to stop. So if you have found value in these videos and you want to help me keep it going, please go ahead to acaseofthejills.com and click on the donate button. It would really mean a lot. Also, something else exciting that's new on acaseofthejills.com is the opportunity to schedule a chat with me. I did not think I was going to have to do this, but there's been an overwhelming request for my time either via Skype or on telephone, and I can't keep up with it anymore. So I've asked if you would like to schedule a chat with me, that you go to the website and book some time. Please like this video and subscribe to A Case of the Jills. Go ahead and leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. I really hope that you guys have a great week, and I will see you soon. Wow.